Welcome to our journey through Numbers chapter 14, one of the most pivotal and heartbreaking turning points in ancient history. This profound chapter reveals the devastating cost of fear and shows us exactly what happens when a community's lack of faith results in a tragic 40-year exile in the wilderness. Our story opens with a scene of absolute despair. The whole community of Israel began weeping aloud, raising their voices in a great chorus of protest and crying all through the night. They complained bitterly, wishing they had simply died back in Egypt. Collective panic creates a dangerous echo chamber. An unmanaged emotional crisis quickly distorts reality and completely erases all memory of past victories and miracles.
Their panic reached such a fever pitch that they actually plotted to choose a new leader and return to the brutal bondage of Egypt. In times of intense operational stress, teams often romanticize a toxic, familiar past over a difficult, uncertain future. This delusion of safety inevitably leads to massive organizational self-sabotage. In response, Joshua and Caleb tore their clothing in grief. They desperately tried to reason with the people, urging them not to rebel, and boldly declaring that the inhabitants of the land were only helpless prey. True visionary leadership requires the immense courage to stand against a panicked majority, actively reframing terrifying obstacles as entirely manageable opportunities.
Tragically, the community did not listen and talked about stoning them to death. Suddenly, the glorious presence of the Lord appeared at the tabernacle. Deeply frustrated, God threatened to completely disown the Israelites, destroy them with a plague, and make Moses into a brand new nation. When a system repeatedly refuses to trust the process, despite undeniable proof, it risks being completely dismantled and replaced. Moses, displaying incredible leadership and compassion, stepped in to intercede. He argued that if God slaughtered the Israelites, the surrounding nations would claim the Lord was simply unable to bring them into the Promised Land. Exceptional leaders do not abandon a failing team. They aggressively advocate for them, leveraging the organization's overarching mission and reputation to secure a crucial second chance.
The Lord agreed to pardon the people from total destruction, but the consequences were still severe. He decreed that the adults would wander the wilderness for 40 years, until that entire faithless generation died out. A pardon does not erase consequences. A culture that fundamentally lacks the maturity to manage new success must undergo a prolonged period of development until the old toxic mindset completely dies out. When Moses delivered this devastating news, the Israelites were filled with intense grief. Realizing their massive mistake, they got up early the next morning and defiantly announced they were finally ready to enter the land. Trying to execute a strategic move after the window of opportunity has officially closed and without the backing of core leadership is not obedience, it is reckless defiance.
Despite Moses warning them that the Lord was no longer with them, the people pushed ahead into the hill country anyway. Notably, neither Moses nor the Ark of the Covenant left the camp to join them, and the Israelites were easily slaughtered and chased back. Launching a massive initiative without the alignment, presence, and protection of your foundational core values guarantees absolute defeat at the hands of your competitors. And so began the tragic 40-year exile, serving as a powerful reminder of the absolute necessity of trusting the process. This leaves us with two important questions to chew on today. First, when faced with overwhelming obstacles, do you actively reframe them as opportunities, or do you romanticize retreating to your past Egypt? And second, are you currently trying to force a reckless strategic move without the alignment and presence of your core values? Take a moment, breathe, and let them sink in.